sir.
Out to SGA. Now we just gonna go by initials with him since he's MVP now.
Yeah. Man, that young fella got OKC turned up right now, man.
Yeah, I think he is more intelligent, IQ-wise, than we're giving him credit for, because he's able to get what he wants almost every time.
Melo came out recently and talked about his Hall of Fame nod that's coming up, and like this is the time when you gotta start making them calls and choosing the people that you wanna induct you into the Hall of Fame. And so he came out and said MJ, he talked about AI, then he said your boy Flash.
That's killer.
That's killer.
I feel like when you get to this time of year, it's too much lead. They give him too much leeway out here for certain players.
Man.
This is winning time, dog. Yeah, you're not playing winning basketball. Yo, welcome back to our show, The Timeout. I'm your host, Dwyane Wade. My guy, D. Reezy. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing amazing, man.
Man, you doing good, dog. Tell us, man. Tell us about something, man. What you got going on?
I just got these J's. These my EYBL coaching shoes. These just do not feel good at all.
You on the sideline with your arms crossed, feet hurting?
Jack zoomed in on my picture and said, bro, I don't like how you got your shoes tied. I'm like, wait, first off, how do you see my shoes? And I'm like, second, them shits hurt. So
It's smaller size, too narrow?
I think they just too narrow. You know, I got them bunions and shit, man. All these miles on these feet. So these hurt a little bit.
Well, that's why you got to get you some way of Wades.
Shit, I'm waiting.
Damn, that's crazy.
I'm waiting.
You got to throw your orthotics. You know you got to throw your orthotics in those, bro.
I don't even know if my orthotics fit in this motherfucker.
It's tight.
But all is well.
All is well.
The fact that we talk about orthotics.
Hey, listen. My boy over here about to be 40 real soon. So
you keep bringing that up.
These are conversations we talk about.
We already threw you one birthday party.
Oh, that was funny. That was hilarious.
Bring the cake out.
That was crazy. See, Chris Johnson, everybody. What's going on, bro? What you been up to?
All been in the lab, and when you're looking at pre-draft, I'm watching these kids get ready to graduate, right? I call graduation draft day. But what most people don't talk about is when it's drafted 60, where the other 60 going? Mm. And so they should stop calling it draft day and should call it the replacement system. So I'm teaching the kids that as you celebrating, there's some other people having heartbreak and they're trying to figure out the next steps without basketball or going overseas or going to new places. So this week has been really inspirational for them, being excited to replace 60, but nobody talks about the 60 guys that are leaving.
Hell yeah.
Because you can't get 60 new jobs without 60 people leaving.
That's a fact.
You ain't lying.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
But he felt that. I felt that from you.
I remember that heartbreak.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I know what he's talking about. So.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I ain't never thought of it like that, but I know what you're talking about.
But that's how I look at it, because I joke around with some of the vets. And I always say, bro, you retired. And he said, bro, I didn't announce my retirement. I said, all right, you'll figure it out later.
Yeah, real talk.
He looked a couple of months
First of
go
all,
by.
everybody don't get to announce their retirement. You get to announce it to your family.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, everybody don't get to be like, hey, a press conference to be like, hey guys, I'm walking away. No, that ain't how this game goes.
How it goes.
No, you just don't get the call back.
You just don't. And then it could be a year. It could be 2.
Right.
And then you decide, I'm going to put out on social media, I'm retired.
Yep.
Yeah, so most people don't get retirement parties and they don't get an opportunity to say goodbye to the game.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Don't get a last dance.
So what you really learn in this, Bob, is you have to focus on the moment and winning where you are
100%.
at the moment. You got to enjoy every part of the game. You got to enjoy the good with the bad and the journey. And the people
just like life, you don't know when that journey's going to end.
It's going to end.
So everybody's not allowed to land their own plane.
Dang.
No, everyone doesn't. That's why Bob and I talked as I was coming to my decision of how, I wanted my career to end. And I was like, I want to land my own plane before they be like, act like they don't see you?
Hell yeah.
Before they do that, let me land this motherfucker.
Facts.
Because we've been flying for a while. Let me land my own plane. But everyone don't get that opportunity to land their own plane. So that's a good conversation to have with these young fellas.
Hell
you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And obviously the players that's in the league now.
Absolutely. They don't have it, and then nobody talks about the different transitions in life. We always are forced to either transition or you choose your transition.
Right.
So you chose your transition. to be able to say, okay, it's time. Let's land the plane. Most people haven't chose a transition in their life. And so when you take away something, that's where you're faced to face it first and then to be able to say how you want to pivot. But most people don't. Most people, 90% of the world really don't choose their own.
Well, and also too, when it comes to sport, I think a lot of it is hard for guys because let's take a Chris Paul. He loves the game of basketball. I don't think nobody who knows CP, you cannot see his love is at a level that is it could be taken insanely.
Right.
When you love something that much, when you walk away from something you love, it's very hard to walk away from anything that you love.
Yeah.
And so
That's true.
it's hard for a player who loves the game like that to walk away from the game when they ankles working, when their knees working, when their wrists working, and people still calling.
Yep.
It's hard to figure out when to land my plane because I love this and I can still do this, right? No matter what level that is on. And so it determines on that too how much you love it versus how much you lost love for it.
Yeah.
We got some older players now, and I know we're gonna probably talk about it later in the show, but this is something that we're talking about is when is it time for the older players
Bow down.
to move forward and let the new generation come up? Because right now, the younger generation is barking and they're moving forward. And so the younger guys, they admire the older players. And they really want it, but it's hard for them to say, excuse me. Is it my turn? Yeah. And so they don't get opportunities. So when you look at that, how do you know when it's time?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a tough question. I mean, in sports, somebody got to take it. That's when you know it's time, when you see somebody step up and take it. What we're watching right now is you're watching that next generation of players step up and just take it. But Steph, Bron, KD, James, Kawhi, like all these players that's been at the top.
Yeah,
they don't want to give you anything.
No, you gotta work
stay
for
there.
it.
Yeah, they'll stay there as long as you allow them to stay there. They're gonna stay at the top. So you gotta, in sport, you gotta just be like, hey, bro, let me get that.
Yeah, no, for sure. You gotta go Debo that thing, man, because like you said, like that passion, you wake up every single morning and you got that bug. I remember when that shit left me. And I was just like, yeah, it's over. Go home. Yeah, but I like how you just brought up CP3 because he was coaching against us this past weekend. Yeah. And he was over there drawing up plays. Yeah. He was over there, hey, come here, do this, do this. Yeah, I got up on him. I was like, Coach, hey, man, I'm be drawing up all that tricky shit. And sure enough, like 3 or 4 things that he drew up, you could tell in the huddle, because after I think he might have been mic'd up or they had their own camera guy. He was like, bro, y'all done imported some damn flies in here. Y'all taking the
use my hat. Use my hat on the wall.
You had it with the hat.
You from the South.
From the master.
This is the first time I wore this. Like, you didn't get smashed on this, dog.
That's crazy.
The fly on the wall studios. This fly is.
Y'all taking it too serious.
Somebody leaving the
Listen,
dope.
he said fly on the wall. Fly like, well, let me in then.
Yeah, somebody leaving the dope.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But you're right about that. Checking in with B.O.B., man. What's going on with you, dog?
That's probably, I just got me a new T-shirt. Since we got Bob back there.
So when you picked that shirt out, you was like, I'm gonna wear this on the show. Like when they didn't send you that. You bought that. Right? Am I confused?
You're not confused.
Okay.
But it has my name on it.
Okay.
It's from Florida. Even though I don't really watch hockey like that. I am a hometown.
Florida Panthers.
I'm a hometown.
Shout out to the Panthers.
Shout out to the Panthers going to the finals for the 3rd time.
Right.
Defending champs, going to go for that back-to-back. But yeah, I felt, I didn't get a chance to wear this last year because I was
you don't go to the games.
Or do you watch them?
You are a bandwagon.
I feel attacked.
Wait, but the most important question: who the hell is Bob other than me?
So
it's not the goalie.
Do you know that?
What does that mean?
It is a goalie.
Then who's the name at the bottom?
No, his name is Bob Ravosky. So
got it. Okay.
So Sergey Bob Ravosky.
Okay, so we got Bob back there. He protecting everything.
Bob back there.
All right.
Bob got it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's my life.
Okay.
I see why you got the shirt. All right.
Okay.
So what I'm saying? So that's why Bob got back. So Bob got, so for me, I was watching this whole series and watching like how, I need something to root for. The Dolphins ain't really doing too much. The Heat. So right now the Panthers are my team right now.
There you go.
All right.
Yo, so
Hometown
Well, that
target.
sounds just like a Miami fan
it
right
is.
now.
We are,
But
we
yo,
are so. Yes, we are. You're right.
now it's a hockey time.
Don't let the Marlins get off. Because I'm gonna be a Marlins fan.
Speaking of Marlins, you see this baseball?
It's dope.
Yeah.
Talk to me. You see what this say?
There's
What movie is this from?
this is from
What movie is this from?
What's Tom
There's no
Hanks?
Minor league, right? No.
Tom Hanks.
With the women.
Yeah.
What was it
A
called?
League of Their Own.
League of Their
There's
Own.
no crying in baseball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Since you threw out baseball,
Little
little Jeter collab right here
Jeter
with the
collab.
That Jeter collab they did for the Dodgers was fire.
Yeah, this is one. This one.
Yeah, that was fire. I didn't get that, but I got the product.
Yeah.
Product was fire too.
Fire.
Product was crazy. All of it. Yeah, just a little.
It's in the
baseball
little Bible.
Yep, exactly.
Fire.
So we was on the road, man. I just got back. I went to Chicago. It was a season opener at Chicago Sky at home. Obviously, don't worry about our record right now. We're in a building of stage, but just excited about going back to the crib,
Always.
getting the chance to be around the team. Team dinner, going to practice. Getting a chance to be back in the space. Like I said, I was on. I went and did a show. Pardon My Take, which was awesome in Chicago. Barstool. Shout out to Barstool. And just being back home for a couple of days, man, it was a vibe for us to be back there. Chicago's energy, and it was raining, and all that. Weather wasn't great. Energy still was fire. But just be able to be there, man. I posted a photo. It was my mom. It was my auntie Rose. It was my sister Keisha. We were always courtside watching the game. And that's what it's about. It's about being able to bring your family out to these outings and, obviously be a part of it in the way that we are is really, really cool. So shout out to the Chicago Sky for continuing to, obviously we're trying to get there on the court, but like you also want to see what they're doing off the court. Mm-hmm. And, they're trying to build the brand and what the future of the Chicago Sky is going to feel like and look like. So it was cool to go back, sit there, and just feel the love from the city, but also too, man, be able to build these experiences with your loved ones. So,
You have any deep dish pizza out there?
oh, for sure,
Okay.
for sure. We had some deep dish pizza. We watched one of the games in my room, and my guy Ken ordered some pizza for us and shit.
Where you order from, Ken? Illuminati's. Y'all about to say?
Okay. No Portillo's, no Harold's.
We had Portillo's and Harold's.
Okay.
So
You
went
can
down there
everything.
and got to
I
the
came
food.
back and I started working out right
on,
on.
you went
everything.
extra.
He went,
Oh, he went
Everything
crazy.
Chicago I like, we had, bro. I mean, it's raining outside.
Yeah.
It's cold. The game's on.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Nothing.
Comfort food, baby.
And what we did is, I don't know how many of you guys know this, and this is something that we found out a lot of people don't know. When you get to a hotel, you can actually call down and ask for a microwave. Anybody ever done that before?
I haven't, but I know
Right.
that you could do that.
All right.
Yeah.
I got little kids, so
Yeah. All right. So,
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Because a lot of people that was like, they were shocked when they heard about, like, we can order, you know what I mean?
Order microwave.
And so, like, hitting that joint late at night, like, oh, throw that in the microwave and throw them Harold's chicken and throw that mouse or something.
You had Harold's chicken too?
Yeah, I had it all.
Bro, time out. Let's run it back.
Run the tape back.
Pizza,
Yeah, Giordano's. We had
Illuminati's?
we had
Illuminati's,
Mm-hmm.
Patello's,
Yeah, had Portillo's, had the two Polishes with cheese and mustard with the
Okay.
fries.
Harold's chicken.
Smashed
With
plenty
the sauce?
wings, 10 of them. They come with 6. Let me get 10
Yeah.
with the sauce.
Oh my God.
Yeah, bro. So listen. I was
That's
out there.
Chicago though.
As
I
always,
was out there.
Chicago.
Had a couple LBs to lose, but we back.
Mhm.
Before
like
we
the
get into
fly
our
guy
basketball talk, let's talk about beards for a minute. Because everybody sitting here got some form of a raggedy beard at this point. You know what I'm saying? We got different versions of beard sitting on this show. Let's talk about beard care. D-Wright, what do you do?
That's a
for your
I'm
good
beard?
just dusty right now at this point, dog. Like my barber in LA right now is just I don't know what's going on.
Put on your bar.
I moved back to LA and I look more like this than I do clean. I be thinking I'm like, damn, I ain't got no cut. I'm about to go film, whatever. But yeah, I don't know what this is, bro. I talked to Mia about.
Actually, it's swaggy, bro.
I appreciate
It's your
that.
style.
No,
though.
it look good on you.
It's the
It's
little random neck gray hairs
Yeah.
that's pissing me off. You know what I mean? But
What do you do for it though?
And
Besides
nothing.
get a cut when you get nothing.
bro,
That's it.
I just put a little shampoo in there, washing, and that's it. I don't do nothing. No, I ain't got no tricks.
Okay, Bob, what you got?
Well, it's the only hair that I got to worry about, right? So
I wash you, I take good care of you.
So I got, man, there's more than the juices and berries for me, but at least in the sense I got me a beard wash, a beard conditioner, I put beard balm, I put beard oil. My beard is, I get into it.
Okay.
Right.
And depending on, like, it's funny because I'll go from a goatee to a full-on. So right now I'm going with the full-on.
Yeah.
And I'm nervous because ever since we had that conversation about the blade, because I use a blade, and I'm for the most part I'm good.
Yeah.
But lately I've been
You get
right
irritated.
Here. I've been getting a little irritated.
I got something for you.
Nestle Crunch.
Yeah, not necessarily crunch, but
That bump be gone.
You need that bump.
You gonna need that bump be gone soon.
No, I bought some. No, the thing is, I bought some.
Yeah.
I actually bought some Bump Be Gone.
That's a thing?
Yes. No,
Bump be gone.
real talk.
Your hair must don't curl up in your
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
that's funny.
So yeah, Bump Be
Bump be
Gone.
gone, bro.
But Bob, you got to tell the people at home, people that are listening to us, especially black men that don't talk about it, is the razor because our hairs curl.
Super curly.
underneath. It's too curly that when the razor get it really close,
Yeah.
it can create hair bumps.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I see what you're saying because you want to be able to grow the beard and be able to take care of it. But when they get itchy and them bumps get underneath
start
it,
That must be some over 40 shit too.
nah,
No, but here's the thing.
that happens at all times.
Right, because for me, right, it's interesting because I had because I use a blade on my hair, on my scalp, right? That's fine. It's whatever. And I remember I've had my beard for a while, for a few years. And I said, you know what? Beginning of the year, I'm gonna just slice that thing up. And it was cool, it was clean. Nado took care of me. I'm trying to take care of myself. Man, I put the blade and it was nice looking clean, but the next thing you know, I'm like this.
Ooh.
Doing this right here. And mind you, it's crazy because I don't get like bumps.
Yeah.
It just itches.
Irritating.
It's irritated. So then I'm starting to put all kinds of stuff in my face. So I'm letting this grow right now because I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. That's the only reason. But it's soft though.
Yeah.
Soft. I got the oil. It smell good.
Okay.
You know, but that's my routine.
Okay.
That's killer.
For me, you know, I think grooming yourself as a man is very important, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I got oils, I got conditioning, I got I use a comb.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get out the shower, I comb it, then I oil and grease it, and then if I need a little touch up, I touch it up. Now my barber, with my little grays that start here and here, he'll touch it up too. So he'll give me a little flavor, but it don't last like 3 or 4 days.
All right, let's move on to the hoop conversation, man. Let's move on to the hoop conversation.
Man.
First and foremost, we just had an MVP finally
sir.
be named.
Yes.
Yes,
Shout
sir.
out to SGA. Now we just gonna go by initials with him since
Yeah.
he's MVP now.
Yeah, for
Ain't
sure.
that what
That's
happened,
his
though?
whole
You just
name.
you just get one name, right?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
SGA now. We don't even know his other name no more. It's just SGA.
Yeah, man.
D Wright. Right, the right move, the right call for the league.
Right call. No brainer, man.
No brainer.
Shout out to SGA,
Shout out to
man.
SGA.
Man, that young fella got OKC turned up right now, man.
Yeah.
You know, his ability to make tough shots, bring back the mid-range at a high level, show these young fellas how to get to the free throw line, and then being a superstar that brings his guys along. We see it with the interviews. We see it with the Rolex watches he gifted his teammates. That comes from, you know, the hard work he puts in, and then those guys having his back on that court and knowing I need these guys for me to be successful,
Right.
and vice versa. And he rewarded those guys because all the things they sacrificed for him. Alex Caruso on the break had a wide open dunk, turned around, threw it back to SGA. He got all the points in the world, you know. And Caruso thought of him, you know, to give him
Right,
an easy two.
right.
So
Yeah.
that tells me a lot how they love him and
Yeah.
appreciate him. So I'm super happy that the young fella got him one, and maybe possibly bring a championship to OKC, something they've never seen before. So really looking forward to him finishing strong, and they definitely got that one right.
They got it right. Bob, they got it right?
They got it right. I for a while, you know, I was struggling with SGA is a baller. And I felt like with the Jokic, I thought he was doing a lot of great things. But just watching, like you more recently, him in his interviews, I've seen him for a while. Like even when he was, like when Chris was out there with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen his maturation. And I'm like, oh, he's going to be dope. But really watching, like really taking my time to really, because there's nothing else going on. You got no other, like all the other playoff games. You got just these 2 series to really watch him in his interviews, just watch him how he's with his players, his humility, and watch with it. I'm like, you know what? They got it right.
Yeah.
They got it right. And this is gonna be interesting because they're gonna be good for a while.
Heck yeah.
They're gonna be good
Yes,
for
they
a
will.
long time.
They're gonna be good for a while. So, and to watch him how he is with his players, like with his teammates. I've always respected that because this is now you see that new generation coming in.
Right.
He's leading that pack, and that's great to see. So yes, they got it right, 100%.
Right.
Yeah. The dopest thing that I seen was he was sitting on the bench. Game was going. Coach yells down the bench, Shay. And he sprinted to the table. Did he say Shay?
Yeah. Did he say Shay?
Did he say Shay?
Yeah.
So it shows you that he has humility. You know, not just in the fact that I'm just getting up, taking my shirt off and walking up to the scores table. He actually loved basketball.
Yeah.
And you can actually see that in his charisma and the way he carries himself and the way he carries himself with his team. And so for me, when I'm looking at SGA, I'm not just looking at what he's doing on the court. I'm looking at his style. I look at the way when the mic's in front of him, how he's very conscious about what's going on. You know, the way he's celebrating the people around him, celebrating his father. Last night, when he won the MVP, he handed it to him. And you know, dads, we dads. You know, that's Shay to him, right? And Shay said, what you gonna do with it? He said, I'm just gonna put it in my pocket. You know, so for his dad to be in his moment and he made that moment about his dad shows his true character.
Yeah.
Of like
100%.
who he is, right?
100%.
And then, you know, when the interviews happen, if he was an asshole or a shithead ass dude, when the cameras are off, nobody's gonna get behind him every game consistently for years and support him. They do it consistently. And so when you look at all of these components and pieces, and we always talking about the face or the new face, I think it takes a special ingredient to be able to be the face without saying you the face.
Right.
Good point.
Nobody's going to him. Ain't nobody even really said, Shay the face of the league. When everything he's done has been the front runner of the new era of the league. And so I think it's well-deserved. His game is flawless in the way that he's able to manipulate the defense. So it's not just getting a mid-range. Most people don't have a mid-range because they're going into the rim. They're going way too far on their drives. He's conserving his body by paint touches, and he's pulling up in the paint, which is one of the hardest shots I think you could shoot because it's still a paint touch.
Right.
It's just a very high percentage paint touch. And so when people say, oh, he's bringing back the mid-range, I'm like, this dude is bumping dudes off of him and shooting over him. So his game is really flawless, and I think he's a good reader. Hand placement, ball placement. You put your hand in a cookie jar, he teach you. Poop, foul. You pull your hand out, you manipulate, he bump right through you. Like, I think he is more intelligent, IQ-wise, than we're giving him credit for because he's able to get what he wants almost every time.
Just taking off what you just said, I think a lot of people we got a lot of highlight look, like people who just watch highlights.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're watching Shay, and when it comes, if you're watching SGA, and you see at times he's going to get calls that you like, it was no contact there. And so now everyone has something to say about it, right? Those are just highlights. Just moments where, as a star player in the league, you're going to get calls where it's limited amount of contact. You have earned that right. When you have reached a certain, when I first got in, you breathed on AI, it was a foul. I wasn't guarding him, D-Wright was, but I understand what I was watching it. But when I took that next step to superstar level, I will get some calls that it would be minimum contact. Not all your calls, just some of them, because you wind up getting the benefit of the doubt, especially if you're someone who puts pressure on the defense time after time after time. You become very hard to guard. And so it'll be a few times where they're going to call it because they're going to anticipate it. And also, too, you didn't earn yourself to that line just by the pressure you put on, the kind of player you are, how you are to the refs, how you are to the league, all that. Like, people got to understand that. It's at a certain level, you're going to get certain benefits. So they like to say that and say, oh, he's a free throw. It doesn't matter. Right. If you go down the list, and I saw it go out socially, it was like 13 games into the playoffs, look at the players who had way more free throws than him. I think he had 125. I had 188. Kobe had more. Bron had more. Like, once you at that level of putting pressure on the defense, you touching the ball so much, you're going to get that whistle. Yeah. Now, he is intelligent. He's smart. Yeah. He understands body movement. He understands when you're late, when you're early. He understands what to do to manipulate that situation to get himself to the line. The goal is, when you have a star player, we need him to get to the line.
We need you to get there.
Where you have that. So just off that point, but once again, NBA definitely got it right. And I think the one thing that's great about SGA's MVP is because we've watched the last 3 years.
Yeah.
This MVP didn't come out of nowhere. We actually watch him consistently.
He's been consistent.
Take his steps to becoming an MVP.
True.
And that right there is something that we don't get to see often, where you see a guy building his case to be an MVP. And yes, could he win it last year? Yes. Arguably, I thought he was MVP last year. Jokic can win it every year. LeBron James can win it every year. Kobe Bryant can win it. These players can win it every year because of their talents and their stats and all that. But you've watched this young man build his case year after year, from his team getting better to him personally getting better to building his case to becoming the MVP, and he got it at the right time.
Heck yeah.
They
definitely got it right.
There's a difference between, we're seeing the league with some of the greatest scorers ever, right? Mm-hmm. But when you look at him put up the numbers, his team is winning. Because you've seen people on bad teams put up numbers. And people say, well, he needs MVP. But when you can put up numbers and the rest of your team can perform and win.
So what do you think that is when you say bad team? What do you feel like to be an MVP? If you putting up numbers and you got that kind of game, do you have to be in the top 4? Do you have to be in what is that for you guys?
Winning matters to me.
Winning matters.
So what is that winning?
So
What do you cut it off?
I would say top 4. You know what I mean? 4. And then what you're doing and who's the most valuable to their team.
Yep.
SGA, Jokic, they're the most valuable to their team. If you take those guys off those teams, they're not the same team.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. If I took you off of that team, can your team still have the same success? Can these role players around you or your co-star, can he still play at a high level if you weren't on that team? So that's kind of how I'm looking at it, engaging it. Are you valuable to your team?
I'm winning. I'm with the winning as well, but I almost go more on, if you weren't there, because let's say you want to say it's a tough conference or something like that. So I'm probably gonna give you a more breath instead of top 4. I probably say playoff. As long as you're in playoff contention for me, because you might because it might be close and it could be a little bit of here and there, but I probably put more on if you weren't there. It'd be a completely different team.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Some of it is when you're not on the court, what your team doing. Like, you ain't even got to be there. Sometimes it's just like Jokic in Denver. Their plus minus when Jokic's not on the court is god awful.
Yeah.
Right.
So that makes his case even stronger to why he's valuable. Because even when my men is on the bench, my team's right?
Right.
That's a part of the case as well. It's not even just missing games, it's when you're not out there.
Right. So that's to me, that's probably a heavier factor, but I do agree you should have a team that's contending.
Yeah.
But I probably put more emphasis on the plus minus, or like you just being how your team plays without you.
Speaking of how teams play without you, I mean, the Thunder is really good.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, just even watching the game the other night, and SGA went to the sideline and they took the lead up. They went from 15 to 30.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is this is one of the most complete teams that I've ever seen
in a while.
In a long time.
Yeah.
Very complete. I mean, like, I was sitting there, I was telling you, I was like, it goes to me like in my era of certain teams, the San Antonio Spurs, the Detroit Pistons, these teams that are very well coached, that are based around their defensive system, but also to execute, don't get the ball away, take the right shots, put the ball in the right guy hand on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Like, very hard to beat. They will not beat themselves most night. Like, I haven't seen that many teams. It's more teams. We got Golden State. We got the Heat. Like, we got teams out there. But I'm saying, like, one of the most complete teams that I've seen by watching the game as a fan of the game in a very long time.
I would say who they remind me of is like that Lakers team that went back-to-back. with Paul Gasol, Andrew Bynum.
Okay.
Had Ariza 1 year, then they changed them out for Ron Artest.
Yep.
You know, they're very similar with the two big lineup, like recent. You know what I'm saying?
Was Robert on that team also? Robert Horry.
No, he been gone. Not on the Paul Gasol.
Yeah.
Because when I see Chet's a big, but he's also a hybrid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this was a nightmare for Minnesota with Rudy. It's a nightmare.
We talked about that here.
It's a nightmare for him to close out. And then, Chet's knocking down threes, catch and shoot threes all over the place.
It's messed up because Rudy right here, Chet right here, they drive Rudy and Chet with the corner.
There.
You see Rudy turn and look and be like,
damn. He got me.
He got me.
So nothing he can do.
No, he can't do it. And then you got to come off and try to cover for Rudy, which forces more closeouts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when I seen that matchup there, and then when they bring in Caruso, and they put Chet at the 5, they have Caruso at the 4, and their lineup is like all guards at one point, like Dort, Williams, Shea, Wallace. And I mean, they're like dogs on the court, all of them. And they all, when you go back and look at it, if you go back and look, Caruso was a college point guard. Wallace, point guard from Kentucky. Shea, point guard for Kentucky. Williams, point guard at Santa Clara. Was it Santa Clara?
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara. They got 4 point guards on the court at one time. So think about the IQ of the team. Think about the spacing. Like all the little things that sometimes take another player to catch on to. These guys are in sync. They all played point guard, and at some point they were leading their group.
Okay.
That's good. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All of these guys play point. So when you go back and you look at it, and when they're on the floor, they're so fast. If you even watch how the ball is stolen, pitched up, and then alley hoop. Bro, that's a point that, that's guys that understand what's going on. So, yeah, the coach is doing a hell of a job. But they got some high basketball IQ players over there.
Yeah, I mean that's probably very intentional. Now that you broke that down, when you talk about the scout team over there, like what do I look for? What am I looking for? What are our pillars of players that we want to build this with? Right? You think about CP was there, right? When they was starting as young guy, high IQ player. And so they've went out and looked for high IQ players, right? They ain't look for, some people go out and look for length. Some people go out and look for athleticism. They went out and looked for high IQ players and also both sides of the floor players.
Yeah.
When you say that, when CP first got to OKC, what everyone was talking about in the basketball world was like, well, is he going to start over Shea or not? Nobody thought about them playing together.
Right.
And when they were both on the court together, they were at their best unit. And if you're noticing now, even looking at Indiana on the other side, they start 2 point guards.
Yep.
Regardless of height. And so if you look at OKC and they're starting multiple guards, they've been working on this for a while, understanding that you're going to need multiple ball handlers. You're going to need multiple guys that can handle pressure, attack, get to the rim, finish, kick. And, I mean, they got a good thing going with that. And I watched, I was like, oh, he's a point guard. Wallace don't even handle the ball much. He gives the ball. He was a starting point guard for Kentucky.
Yeah, he was. Yep. And as a coach, when you got the best player out there, we see it. Guys are getting double teamed at half court now. So to have that other facilitator is super important because the reason why teams do that and jump guys at half court, get the ball at their hand, make somebody else beat you, make somebody else make a play.
Right.
So in their case, you do that, they're going to make you pay every single time.
Absolutely.
So I definitely never noticed that as far as like the point guards and all that stuff. So that's a great take.
Yeah. So we did that. And Chet too.
They have done an incredible job of putting together an amazing team. We're getting the chance to see it more and more and more. Like I told you guys in the chat, like I picked the Knicks and I picked Minnesota. It was just vain. I just wanted this. It was market. It was one of my favorite players. Basketball, I know basketball. I know what the best teams are. So we know that they're very, very good. But the one thing that I cannot get down with is actually not getting the ball out of SGA hand.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I know they got these other guys that are really good at what we're talking about, but I cannot get down with, I didn't see one time, I didn't see a jump SGA. I watched SGA get it. I've never seen a star player be that comfortable to walk to the NBA Finals.
He walked to his spots on the floor. He told the one guy cut.
How do you allow the MVP to play comfortable if the goal is to win? And that was and then Bob and I had this conversation earlier, and it's jumping into the conversation between SGA and it's jumping into between Ant. First of all, Minnesota is not OKC. We understand that. But we're talking about these two young players who are making their run to stardom, right? One who is MVP now and one who's still trying to make his step up there. Been in the Western Conference the last 2 years. I watched Anthony Edwards be uncomfortable 90% of the game. I watched SGA be uncomfortable 0% of the game. I'm sorry. If I'm trying to get to the finals, you got to beat me somewhere else. Maybe I will beat me, but I'm not allowing the MVP to walk into 40, 10, and 9. Not allow him to walk. I didn't see him turn his back one time. No pick and rolls. No.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed in the game plans of the Timberwolves when it comes to the head of the snake. Okay? It's two guys out there that you really, really, really concern yourself with, Williams and SGA. They are the head of the snake of that team. Y'all got to beat me because I'm not about to let them beat me the way that they were beating me. They did not. OKC would not allow Ant to breathe.
Right. Bro, multiple bodies every time he draws.
Multiple bodies.
Every turn.
Bro, when you look at it, OKC changed their scheme too, by the way. Y'all know the rule that everybody try to follow because it's a copycat league is don't come off of corner threes. You know what they did?
Boy.
Gave Jaden McDaniel all the open threes.
But when they came off, I wish I could show you when a guy's driving, if you come off aggressive and you slap down at the ball, it's hard for him to pass the ball out clean, which allows you still to get a contest. Like if the guy's in the driving lane and that guy's driving and I just kind of swipe at a half-ass, he can still get the gap and go. But if I put my body frame and I jump him while he's driving full speed, I can jump in and look how many turnovers they force.
Yeah.
They're actually jumping here and knocking the ball down.
Big fact.
If they did it multiple times and it made me look and say, whoa, wait a minute. That's not just guessing or like multiple players.
That was drilled.
You can see it.
Yeah.
You could see it, bro, where they were coming off the corners and they took away the lanes before he got there because when Minnesota beat them, all those lanes were available. Ant was just even cruising where he wanted to go. They took the lanes and then they got up the lanes early. So when he got there, even though you were getting the pass to the corner, you had to be really good. And that's why you've seen those turnovers. And even on the short pockets, they were jumping the short row, making you have to skip it. So their defensive scheme adjusted, was aggressive, and they took away everything that was on the strong side.
Yeah.
So now, would you say that's more of a coaching thing in the sense where because Minnesota, you've seen for 4 games in a row.
No, they changed that. They changed it after they got beat.
They made adjustments.
Remember they got blown
But
out?
what I mean as far as Minnesota against letting SJ just be not uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. I think
That's
that's
a
a
coaching thing.
I think that's
and
a
it's pride
personnel
thing too because I've been a defender and you be like, no help. I got him. And that shit get your ass bust sometimes. You know what I mean? No, real shit. You know, that pride, that ego get in the way. It was, I don't need no help. You see me on the island, I got him. You know what I mean? Instead of making the proper adjustment. You're right, man. Go send another person over there. Jaden McDaniels is a great defender, but go send somebody else.
Yeah.
Bro, make him get around you, Jaden.
McDaniels won't put no pressure. McDaniels was using his length.
Yeah.
He not putting no pressure on passes.
Yeah.
OKC can make any pass they want. Forget the scoring.
Yeah.
If no one's putting pressure on me and I'm running my offense, it ain't hard to be like,
Yeah.
he open on the back cut.
Yep.
You're not making me miss any moments. You're not making me go to any counters. Now, SGA got counters for your ass. Can he use them, though?
Yeah.
Like, like you said, it's pride. It's a man on man, I got him. It's a difference between I got you. Lou Dort, when he on Julius Randle, he is chest to fucking chest.
You matching his energy.
He ain't doing this.
No.
Right.
And so that's a personnel thing, but it's also, coach,
Yes.
you got to make adjustments. You seeing how they beating y'all. What are y'all going to do to help your players?
Hey.
Right? And I didn't see Minnesota getting help. The Minnesota players getting help from not sitting on their coaches. I'm not in that locker room, but I know what pressure look like and no pressure. I saw pressure. I saw it on OKC. I saw Anthony Edwards be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This kid right here, if you let him cook,
He gonna cook.
He gonna cook. You know what they did not do? They give him no ingredients to cook.
No.
He had no pots, he had no pans, he had no stove.
Because Ant gonna bury if he can. He gonna
They
bury
did not
you.
allow. One game we got a chance to see him have lanes and all that.
Yeah.
Bro, when he go to the basket, it was 4 dudes waiting on him. Pass that ball to the corner. Also, too, we timing it because we know you're going to jump in the air.
Yeah,
we're gonna make that pass hard. But
Yes.
you got to hit that ground and you got to make that pass. You got to do that all game. You know what SGA didn't have to do? None of that.
None of that. Get in my bag.
I'm about to get in my bag and show y'all why. No, I'm sorry. We not losing that way, coach. We doing
Something.
fuck coach.
Yeah.
That's the moment you got to be like,
Picking
fuck
up-
coach.
He was picking up his dribble at the 3-point line and taking them long strides, getting to the basket, which is super impressive.
Super impressive.
But he don't want to do that every single time. He want to get to
No.
the basket and make it a lot easier. He was literally hard one dribble bounce, picking that
Pick it up
thing
and
up
run.
and getting to the basket from the 3-point line. That shit was crazy to me.
Crazy.
But you know how it is being a scorer. You got to take the best available shot. So that was the best available move.
And they
and
wanted
shot.
my man to go and shoot 30 of them things.
No, for real.
Man, my man would have been 5% from the field.
No, facts.
Bro, that defense was incredible.
Yeah, it
built
was.
around him and Julius. The two head of the Snakes had trouble in this series because the defense, like you said, 15 on the string. They had 8 dudes look like they can guard them at one time.
Yeah, no doubt.
It was only 5 dudes on the court. Everywhere he went, it was like, damn, you got to make another counter. You got to make another counter. You got to make another counter. I didn't see that energy
And they
on the
picked
other
up
side.
full court, bro.
Yeah.
So everybody had to handle the ball full court because Wallace, Caruso, all those guys are picking up 94 feet. So it makes it tough and make it uncomfortable. But you made a good point. So I guess looking forward to the finals, whoever comes out of the East, they're gonna have to make SGA do something different.
Yeah.
I feel like when you get to this time of year, it's too much lead. They give them too much leeway out here for certain players.
Man.
Short leash. Hey, you get 2 to 5 minutes to show me what you gonna do out there. If you ain't got it, hey, come on over here, baby.
I'm going back.
Like they give me, like I'm watching too much. Like just going back to the OKC Minnesota game. Like, listen, we start this game off. This is a must win for us. Okay, Rudy, I'm giving you 5 minutes to show me what you gonna do in this game. You ain't doing that. Nas Reed, let's go. Like, it's too much rope that is being given. Like, bro, no. This is the time in the year where you know what, okay, you ain't got nothing, get your ass over here because you're going to come back with something because you know I'll pull you.
Yep.
These guys ain't getting pulled. They ain't getting snatched. They out there playing their minutes and nothing is this is winning time, dog.
Yeah.
You're not playing winning basketball. You try. No, you try.
All right.
We have to do something. And so, like, they're playing off this, you know how we used to hate when the coaches coached off this card?
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Stop
Man,
coaching
coach
off
the
your clock.
game.
Right.
Coach the
Have
game.
a feel for the
Have
game.
a feel for the game, man. It's so hard to. It's just hard to sit over there and to watch it from afar. It was like, yo, like, come on, guys, y'all don't see that this ain't working.
Right.
Give me something
True.
else.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Minnesota coach did it to Julius
did.
Randle, and Julius Randle came back and performed
He
his ass.
responded.
He performed his ass off.
We need that.
Being embarrassed from sitting on the bench.
Yep.
But players need that, bro.
Yeah.
Like the best players need that. Sometimes you need your coach to sit your ass on the bench for you to think about it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it in the game. Come and think about it right here.
Yeah.
So we got
accountability, man.
Yeah. And then too, the guy I put in, we may get some extended minutes out of him. You
Yep.
think about it some more because he's out there making plays. Or it may be like, you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
Like
go.
the young fella from Minnesota, the rookie. He was like
Shannon
one of the
Yeah,
best
Terrence.
players in college. Where was he at all year? Why wasn't you breaking the glass with him? And I know he got game. I seen him play athletic and shoot it.
He played well all
facilitate.
year.
Why he wasn't in the lineup? That's the thing.
He would
that
have
be
been
tripping
good
me
for the
up.
OKC matchup
For sure.
because of the different styles of matchups that OKC use.
Yep.
He would have been great to play in this series. So I guess series to series, you got to make adjustments.
Yeah, but not game 3.
Yeah, you got to start from the beginning.
Yeah, start from the beginning.
I don't know. I'm just real passionate about. I just got a thing when it comes to everybody feeling like they can win a championship. First, stop disrespecting Larry O'Brien like that. And it takes so much to win a championship, and everybody can say it. Everybody can bring it in and say 1, 2, 3 champions or whatever the case may be. You actually you guys got to show your work and show us how you're gonna get there, and not just because you won this round or this round. Like each round is different. Each game is different. I need to see from players and I need to see from coach. I need to see these adjustments being made. I'm not seeing enough of these for the teams that are supposed to reach that level. Like Minnesota they was at a deficit when the series started because who they was playing against.
Yep.
But you also went to the West Conference Finals last year. I need to see something better than the performance I see. Not saying y'all was going to beat this team, but you have experience in this.
You do.
We just watched this last year with Luka. We just watched y'all losing 5. I don't want to see the same thing. So, hey, what y'all bringing back that's new, that's improved? I talked about this. The coach is going to have to go in the lab this summer. Ant's going to have to go in the lab this summer.
Yeah.
And it's not just high pick and roll work. Ant going to have to learn how to score all over the floor.
Post up.
He's going to have to get to that post. He's going to have to get out to that catch and shoot. He's going to get into screening more.
Yep.
He's going to have to get into opening up his package. And the coaching staff got to also get into opening up his package, because leaving that young man out there at half court to come off those pick and rolls, taking those long ass strides, you going to wear him down. I don't care. I know he's 23. He's not going to be as great as he can be. So everybody need to go back to the lab and go back to the package. I've had to do that. I've had to change and open up my game when I play for my team and for myself to get more opportunities. I'm going to become a screener, but I'm still live as a screener. Like, I need to see that young man in more actions. Actually use his greatness, not just his athleticism.
Right.
And so I'm going to be looking to see, again, coming back, Minnesota, y'all been in West Conference Finals 2 years in a row. This shit don't happen often. First of all, anything can happen. What have y'all done in this next season besides an off-season trade or this guy bringing this guy to the lineup? What have you done to make sure that we got enough, and what we got? How are we going to make this work even more?
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I said, like, I want to see. I wish I could see what Ant work going to be this summer. He said no one's going to work harder than him. Great. What are you working on?
Right.
We know you're going to work hard. Now I need to see what you're going to work on, because you got to open up your palette a little bit now, because we know what it is and you're great at that, but we can stop that. So what else you going to do so they can't stop that? I need to be able to score all on this floor. Coaches need to be able to run offense all around this court. Yeah. Not just give them the ball right there and run that angle pick and roll at the top.
You got to be a threat off the bus, man.
Yeah. You become an easy coverage.
Yeah.
You know, you can scheme it. It's hard to scheme guys that move without the basketball.
Steph Curry.
Moving targets.
You can't scheme somebody who's setting screens and moving without the ball.
Yeah.
You can't.
So now, how hard is it now? Do you see them back again next year? Like, how hard is it? Because you're not talking about it, but how hard is it to come back to be? Because people always think, "Oh, I'm gonna be back here next year."
What?
I'll be back here next
You
year.
got to think about the teams that's going to get better. You know, Dallas is going to be healthy.
Mavericks.
The Lakers is going to be
Spurs.
healthy. Spurs are going to be healthy. So it's not going to be as easy as you think.
Golden
OKC
State
is going to be back. Golden State is going to make a good move, I'm sure.
Houston coming back.
Houston, you know, they're going to be mature. So
Memphis.
So you can't take these opportunities for granted. Just like D said, you've been here before. Act like you've been here, you know? And they've come up short 2 years in a row. So they're going to have to make some proper moves and proper adjustments to make sure Ant is a threat everywhere on the court.
Yeah. It's not just trades. Minnesota has done an incredible job of making trades and moves to try to fit the personnel, to try to fit the style of play that they want to play. Okay, that ain't enough if you actually want to raise that trophy up. So now you got to look at what we got. You got enough talent. Yeah, you can add these pieces, but now it ain't just talent. We watched OKC. They got the most talent in them. They made adjustments to the game plan from this game to that game, from this season to this season. I need to see what y'all gonna do. Yeah, that's why I said, like, I'm just gonna be watching to see what's new, what's in the bag. Right. Like, not just saying Ant got to come back and be Jordan, Kobe, or myself, where you in the post bagging people down, but you better add that to your repertoire.
Mix it up.
Right. You better add this. You better be able to come off catch and shoot baseline, top.
Yep.
You better add this to your repertoire, or you become easy to guard in the moments that it really matters. He's too great. I don't want to see him become easily guarded. Yeah. So you got to open up that a little bit, and so teams got to go into the summer and not just look at free agency or who we can sign. No, what we gonna do with what we have and how we gonna make this better. And that's for me, that's what I'm looking for the Wolves' next step. I mean, obviously they've been there 2 years in a row. It's two conversations that are social conversations that we want to talk about before we get off. One of them is it's a personal respect. Melo came out recently and talked about his Hall of Fame nod. That's coming up, and like this is the time when you gotta start making them calls and choosing the people that you want to induct you into the Hall of Fame. And once again, for the people out there who do not know, it has to be someone who's already in the Hall of Fame. Right. Okay. I didn't know that when I was playing. I wasn't thinking about that, but then I found out. And so he came out and said, MJ, of course, yep. Respect. He has a relationship. He's been with the Jordan brand since day one. That makes all the sense in the world. He talked about AI. Of course.
Yeah.
AI is for all of us. AI is somebody who we all admire. We looked up to the way that he did it. He did it his own way. He showed us so much when it comes to how we can be successful by being ourselves in the game. And so he makes nothing but sense. And then he said, your boy Flash.
That's killer.
That's killer.
I was actually when I heard that, I was actually a little surprised. I ain't even holding. That's my guy. That's my brother. Been my brother since we met and linked in New York. I mean, in New Orleans in the Final Four. It's been my brother since. But I was a little surprised about that I was in that list. Like those first two is enough.
Right.
And the fact that he said something and mentioned my name as one of the other guys that could possibly be up there on that stage to induct him, man.
That's pretty dope.
What is this called when you guys are up there? When you supporting them, what is it called?
When you're supporting them, I mean, you're just one of the people who they choose to induct you into the Hall of Fame.
Okay,
you just sit up there. And
would this be the greatest lineup ever to induct somebody in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, I don't know, but
this is a barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. That's pretty nice.
That's what you try to think about. You try to think about what's gonna make you look even colder.
No, facts.
When you going into the fame, like me, I was like, I ain't getting MJ. AI. It's gonna make me look. So when you think about his potential to be able to grab,
that's a cold lineup.
That's a cold
crazy.
lineup.
Yeah, that's a cold lineup.
Get the black cat out.
Yeah, real. Shout out to Melo. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but man, I appreciate him on 7 p.m. on his show, even mentioning my name as somebody who can sit up there and just pay homage and respect to my brother for the amazing career that he had. But I'm going to be there regardless, rapping. But I just thought that was dope, and so I just wanted to show a little love.
Everything running threes
fire, man.
Everything running threes for you.
Well,
he's an MJ.
Not everything, but something.
Yeah, them threes.
But one of the things that I did talk about is the ability. Like when you get done playing, you want that moment where someone calls you to be able. Like AI, think about it, no one called AI until I was in the position to be able to do it. But like you don't know if somebody's going to pay homage to you or respect to you to call you to sit there on that seat to induct them in. You don't know if this is ever going to be an opportunity.
Right.
And so I talked about this. I was like, man, I hope one day I get somebody who was inspired by me that want to see me sit on that stage, or have a relationship with somebody that want to see me sit on that stage and just smile while they get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so obviously 2 years after I get inducted, to hear that from my brother Melo, I was like, oh shit! Like I didn't expect that.
That's definitely a badge of honor. That's a bar, man. So that's pretty cool, man.
Love to my brother. And the last conversation we're gonna jump on, man, because Wright got to get out of here, is this conversation about Goodnight.
Come on, man.
We ain't talking about Steph Curry Goodnight, night. We talking about hey Wright. What's up, D? Hey, man, just have sweet dreams tonight, bro.
Nah, bro.
Yo.
Not happening,
Talk to me about, bro, when people were sending me this, the content was crazy, dog.
Block.
Yo.
What the fuck? You mean good night?
Nah, question is,
wait, he can't say good night?
No. These people are calling them and like, hey, my boy. Night. Good night.
Don't
call me, dog.
I'll be tugging in tight tonight.
Yeah.
So now, what's your immediate reaction? Why is it for you? Because I mean, I'm curious.
Yeah, but why would you block me, bro?
Because that's just strange to me. The fuck are you picking your phone up calling me? Talking about good night. You ain't never did that before.
Ever.
So what are you thinking is happening?
I'm getting pranked. I'm a prankster. I'm getting pranked. Somebody's on the other end of this phone recording what I'm going to do, and he like this. Kikiing and shit. Don't call me with that bullshit, bro. And I got a homie that'll do that. Jack McClinton would be the guy that do some shit like that, and I'm at to cuss him out.
So don't call D-Wright and say night because he's going to block your ass.
Bro, that's crazy. You know what a guy say, hey, all right, dog, I'm going to holler at you.
One.
Peace, one.
Love.
Love.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Sweet dreams, no.
Sweet. You gonna be like,
that's crazy.
Bro, you good? We good?
Hey,
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Somebody blink. Somebody
Hey, man, FaceTime me right now, bro. What's going on?
What's going on over there? It's a problem, bro.
Yes, man.
But, all right, so you won't take that moment and think that, okay, my man's having a very vulnerable moment. You know what I mean? Like he's just having a vulnerable moment, and he just want to express some love to me.
Call your girl or your wife.
Call your girl.
And tell her
You
good
can't
night.
call you.
No.
I can't call my homies.
Yeah, but
man.
not to end it. You can have a conversation and then be like, all right, dog, I'm gonna holler at you tomorrow.
Yeah,
You can't be like, all right, bro, that was good. Sweet dreams. That ain't
enjoy
it.
your sleep.
You you ain't said nothing over there, Bob.
Hey, no, for me, I have no problems with it. I got none.
You got no problem with it?
I have no problems with it. I'm gonna tell you why.
Ooh, please.
Because for me, if someone is calling me, again, I might get shocked at first, but hey, man, where you are, I'm gonna love you where you are. I'm gonna love you where you are. And if you want to call me and tell me good night, sweet dreams, I'm gonna stop at the don't let the bed bugs bite.
Are you gonna repeat it with him when he say that, or are you gonna let him get that off?
Because the thing is, you know what's funny? Because Caribbean folks say good night.
Okay.
So a lot of times, my elite called me. He'll say, "All right, man, hello, good night," and I'm like, "What?" So as at first, that's how it was. So now for me, I don't feel weird when I hear good night. Sweet dreams might make me pause, but I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
Don't give me the third one. Don't give me the trifecta.
No, so it's part of the culture, though.
It's part of the culture. And for me, I don't know where you at. Like, for me, I'm not the type of dude that will call you to tell you I love you.
Okay.
But
then you may have something else to say after that. I'm talking about it ain't the last word.
It ain't about like showing like love to your people. It's more so if somebody says something that you've never said before that is really feels off. That was off.
That was off. I agree. But now, let's say you call somebody right, and you know this will make them laugh or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it morbid. You don't ever get a chance to call that person ever again. Would you regret not saying like I could have had some fun with them and say, I'm gonna call you, hey, good night, sweet dreams.
No, bro.
Like, my boy knew I love you.
That's why we got words like one.
No, I'm definitely gonna check in the morning though. I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, maybe I'm sure last night, I don't know what was going on. You know you said sweet dreams, right?
No, you was lit.
You was lit. You and y'all had a good night? Like, talk to me. Because last night we couldn't talk. For sure. Today you know what I mean? I'm going to check in on my homie. I'm going to send a voice note the next morning.
That might be a code, right? You just don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know what you're going through. But also, too, you may need some kind of response from me. And I'm your homie, so I'm going to be like, all right, bro, man, I appreciate the love, dog. But in the morning, I'm going to be like, hey, bro, I hope you woke.
You good?
What's up?
Y'all some great friends. I know who to call. Just don't call me.
All right, bro. Man, we got to get up out of here. Appreciate the first day back. I miss you guys, man.
Sir, man.
Obviously, we got the finals coming up.
Sleep tight.
We got a lot of late nights coming up. Yeah. So once we get done off Riverside and shooting our show, don't call me saying good night or no sweet dreams.
Don't let the bed buzz bite.
Peace. It's final time. We get a chance to see who is going to go get it. Who going to go get their access card?
Yeah.
Not wait. We're going to try to make sure here at the Timeout that we bringing you guys, obviously this show, this cadence that you guys are used to, but also too, we will be doing Riverside in real time. We will be watching the games. We'll be giving you guys a little breakdown of what we see, what we feel, and also what we think. So make sure you guys stay with us. Make sure you guys check us out. It gets no better than 100%. The finals time. D. Wright, Bob, Chris, I'm D. Wade. Thanks for taking the time out with us.